Joey, just wondering, do you think people with Trump derangement syndrome know they have it?
You're an idiot.
And second question, did you steal Trump's haircut? Did he steal yours? Cultural appropriation haircut right there. She didn't like that too much. Joey Reid, everybody. Trump derangement syndrome, full swing. And then the team, Real America's Voice. Andrew Giuliani, we got Cassandra heading in. And my brother David Zier in the house. And you, God bless you. How you doing? Mr. O'Donnell, what are you gonna do when President Trump wins in 2024?
Oh, I don't think he will. I don't think he will.
But if he does, if all of this lawfare fails, what do you think is gonna happen? Is the country gonna burn down because of Antifa and BLM again? That's Lawrence O'Donnell, everybody. Fake news.
All right, guys. So what you just saw there was a beautiful moment in which Joy Reid was confronted with some good questions, right? Some really good questions about her wig, okay, and Trump derangement syndrome, okay? This woman is Trump deranged, so Trump deranged that she is starting to look like him, okay? She really, really, really wants to be a white woman, right? So it seems, okay? While at the same time cosplaying as a black American woman whose family is a descendant of slaves, even though this woman is the child of immigrants, okay? Her father is from the Congo and her mother is from Guyana, I believe, right? So again, this woman, okay, nothing really black American about her in regards to her ancestry, but she cosplays as if she is a black American woman, again, whose family is a descendant of slaves, but she really, really, really wants to be white, right? She wants to be European, and I think that wig is symbolism of who she really wants to be, okay? Which is a white liberal woman, right? That's what she wants to be, okay? So Joy Reid is a fascinating character, and as you can see there, thanks to Ben Bergquam of Real America's Voice, she snapped when asked a question about her wig and Trump derangement. Now, of course, she didn't answer the question, right? I mean, nobody really expected her to answer the question, but seeing her get triggered by it was hilarious. Now, speaking of Trump derangement, we have to talk about another extremely Trump deranged individual, Mr. Leonard McKelvey, aka Charlamagne the Devil, okay? And Leonard is going to go on Fox News because he's doing a book tour to try to sell a book that nobody will read. And he's going to admit out loud that, yes, I am Trump deranged. Now, of course, like all Trump deranged individuals, he's Trump deranged because of misinformation and brainwashing from the liberal media. Now, the unfortunate part for Charlamagne the God is that he doesn't even realize that he's misinformed. But yet people keep giving him a microphone to talk as if he is informed on the issues, okay? It really is kind of sad that people like him are given big platforms to spew nonsense, even though it's obvious that he doesn't know what he's talking about. But again, these are the same individuals that will claim that, well, being black in America holds me back. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, I can't tell, right? Look at you. How did you get in your position and being black holds you back? Because clearly you don't have to be the most talented black man out there in order to be successful, right? It's just amazing how that works. So with that being said, I want to react to this interview from Fox News in which Charlamagne the God is going to admit that he's Trump deranged. But before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. The US dollar has lost 20% of global foreign exchange reserves, and our national debt is quickly approaching 35 trillion. No, our economy is not in great shape. Those stunning job reports that are released by the government are artificial part-time jobs. Our increasing GDP is driven by spending money that we printed. Our economy is failing and nobody is listening. Save yourself, save your family, save your future with gold. From central banks to billionaires, gold is the hedge that everybody runs to. Noble Gold can help you. From day one, you work with the same dedicated all-American expert. Whether you're a beginner or you're an expert, Noble Gold Investments will make sure that you get all the help that you need. And this month, Noble Gold Investments will give away a free gold coin to everyone who opens up a qualified account. Just use promo code GOLD. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That is noblegoldinvestments.com. And just remember, There's a risk with every investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind.
Let the record show, I totally agree with Robert De Niro. I am one of those people that suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. I think he is a threat to democracy.
Really?
I think that he led an attempted coup in this country. You know, he said he wanted to suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. At the least, that's just not a patriotic thing to say.
I don't believe that.
He absolutely said that on
I will
Truth
look
Social.
that up.
He absolutely did not say that, Leonard. Right? That's not what he said. Again, this is why I don't understand why these media outlets continue to drag this guy on their platform to say things in which he's just repeating stuff that he heard on MSNBC. Right? Nothing that Charlamagne is saying is an original thought to him, right? He's just repeating what he heard on the mainstream liberal media because that's not what Trump said, right? What Trump said was in response to revelations about the DNC, the Democrat Party, and big tech working closely together when it comes to the 2020 election and affecting the outcome of the election. And then he went on to ask, hey, what do we do about this? Okay, do we declare the rightful winner, which he believes that he's the rightful winner of the election? Or do we have a whole new election? Okay, a massive fraud, or what he calls a massive fraud of this type, allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, articles, and even some in the Constitution, okay? Because this is not what the founders would want for this country. That is what he said. He said allows for the termination of blank, blank, and blank. He didn't say that that is what we must do or that we will do that or that he wanted to do that. He said allows for, okay? I think that America really struggles with reading comprehension, right? When it comes to Trump, listening comprehension, reading comprehension, there's a lot to be desired, right? I mean, they just don't know how to actually read what people say and to properly interpret what they're saying. Again, especially when it comes to Trump, what they do automatically is just interpret whatever he says in the worst way possible. Now, again, you could disagree with Trump's claims, right? You could say, listen, you know, I don't agree with Trump's claims about the election, but don't try to essentially twist his words and what he's saying to make him say something that he's not actually really saying. Because, again, there's no scenario where that would even come into play because Trump, if he wins, he's not going to be up for re-election, right? And if he loses, he's not going to be empowered to do anything. See, that's what really blows my mind about these people with Trump derangement syndrome. Is almost like, well, what are you afraid of? I don't get it. If he wins, he can't run again, right? There is no election to contest because he can't run again, right? There's no possibility of another January 6th, again, because he can't run again. And if he loses, there's no possibility of him overthrowing the election because he's not in office, right? He's not in power. He doesn't have the power to do anything about the election outside of contest it in court, which, you know, hey, probably will happen, okay? But outside of that, there's nothing else that he will be able to do. He's not in office. Again, these people, I really don't understand it. There is no logic or reasoning behind Trump derangement. It's just what it is. It's just derangement. That's all it is. But at least Charlamagne the God is admitting that he has it, right? I got to give him some credit for that.
He did.
He wanted to suspend the Constitution.
He said we should suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. He said it on Truth Social, then said he didn't say it. So I read Project 25. I'm one of those guys that's like, I don't know if he will necessarily leave. I hope he does, as you said.
I think even if I think this happens more with our presidents than I think because now we can see everything and Trump made everything so transparent because he was on TV every day and everyone was watching the camera.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet. And again, I'm not justifying the bad behavior of January 6th, but I'm willing to bet every president, when he got the note that he was not, when he was out, they were calling everybody like, can we fix this? Are we sure? Mm-hmm. And I think just given the fact that Biden's biggest claim to fame was he got to be Barack Obama's VP. And it was more of the Barack. I voted for Barack twice. I voted for Trump. Looks like it's going to be 3 times now. But the point is like it was the greatness of Barack that helped him over. Now that there's no more Barack, this is all Biden's presidency, and it's been embarrassing. So people are like, are we willing to go back to a poor sport who at least was getting our taxes right, or a wandering fool who's letting the worst part of the Democratic Party get their stuff past him because he doesn't have the.
Neither. We deserve better. The American people deserve better from both parties.
I'm not running, though.
Yeah,
All right, we got to move on.
right shoes.
There would be no women in your cabinet.
I'll have you know, I have lots of women in my cabinet.
Yeah. So Fox News is going to continue their obsession with Charlamagne, and they're going to ask him about Kamala Harris, right, and her performance as VP. And Charlamagne, when he says, well, America deserves better, right, what he means is that America deserves Nikki Haley and Kamala Harris, right? This is his idea of America deserving better. Nikki Haley and Kamala Harris, probably two of the worst individuals in both parties, Democrat or Republican, really, okay, that I can think of to lead this country. I'm so serious. And if you disagree with this, then, of course, you guessed it, you're racist, according to Charlamagne the God, which is what he's going to say on Fox News.
That, you know, she's handcuffed a lot by this administration. And it's interesting because
Why do you think that?
Why do I think she's
Why do you think she's handcuffed?
Because I know her and I know what she stands for. And I know, you know, the things that she wants to do that she may not necessarily, you know, be in a position to do because she doesn't want to overstep the president.
Do you think she would be a good president?
She wouldn't be any different than any other Democrat. Like what policies, you know, what issues would she be so different on that President Obama was, you know, or President Biden? She wouldn't be any different than any other Democrat. That's why when I hear people say things like, we should be terrified of a Kamala Harris presidency, we should be scared of a Kamala Harris presidency. Why?
Well, because she's a far left progressive, okay? When she was in the Senate, she was one of the most progressive senators when it comes to her voting record, okay? She's right there with Bernie Sanders, all right? I mean, she was a senator from California, one of the most liberal states, if not the most liberal state in the union. Well, the fact is that progressivism has destroyed this country, and that is the reason why this country is in the state that it's in. So, yeah, when you talk about somebody like Kamala Harris, who is more progressive than Joe Biden, okay, and Barack Obama, yeah, that is why you should be concerned about a Kamala Harris presidency. She is a far left progressive. But again, Charlamagne the God, because he's just not all the way there yet, okay? He doesn't really understand the politics that he's talking about here. He doesn't really get it. He doesn't know that Kamala Harris is a progressive. He also doesn't understand that progressivism has destroyed this country, even though when he talks about the issues and he talks about what's wrong with this country, like, for example, the border crisis, that is a result of progressive ideology. Open borders are a result of progressive saying that, hey, this country shouldn't have a border. We should just let everybody into this country because white men stole the land from the natives, okay, and they don't have any authority to control who comes in and out of this country because this land is stolen, okay? This is progressive ideology. Also, when it comes to the crime issues in these liberal cities, progressive ideology, okay? This is why you have these woke DAs, these mayors not wanting to lock up criminals because locking up black people is racist, according to them. This is what they say, okay? It's a racist thing to do. Look at the economy. The inflation that we have right now is caused by progressive economic policies. Excessive spending by the government, which, by the way, the progressive wing of the Democrat Party, the Bernie Sanders, the AOCs of the world wanted to spend more money than Democrats ended up spending, okay? They wanted to spend tens of trillions of dollars. Had that happened, we would be in a hyperinflation situation right now. So when it comes to the domestic issues in this country that are plaguing Americans the most, it is a result of progressive ideology and progressive policies. But again, Charlamagne the God, who is a progressive, by the way, he doesn't realize that. He don't understand that his ideology and the things that he advocates for are the reason why this country is in such a bad place. This is why he doesn't understand why people should be fearful of a Kamala Harris presidency, right? Again, I just don't really know why they keep giving this guy a platform and a mic. I really don't.
Right. You know why? Because she's a woman of color.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, 100%.
Do you think that Nikki Haley didn't get the nomination because...
Oh, it's because she's black, right? Again, this is Charlamagne the God. He can't go through the analysis I just went through with you guys in regards to connecting Kamala Harris's political ideology, which is progressive, with progressive policies in this country that have been disastrous and why people say that, okay, yeah, Kamala Harris will be a disastrous president. He can't do that. He has to pull the race card. Everything to him has to be, well, people are saying that because she's a woman of color, which, by the way, you know who said that? Nikki Haley said that, who's also a so-called what? Woman of color, right? Again, that's the amazing part. So again, the racism accusations are just hilarious to me.
She's a minority?
I think Nikki Haley probably didn't get the nomination because she was afraid to stand up to Donald Trump.
She stood up to him.
Not until the end. When it comes to Nikki Haley, I said, you know, months ago that I felt like the GOP was doing themselves a disservice by not making her the nominee, because I think people want something different so bad right now in this moment that she probably could have ended up getting votes, you know, from both sides.
Well, she did in the GOP primary, and she still lost. Okay, so, you know, this guy, Charlamagne, he has no clue what he's talking about. Again, Fox News pretends to be fascinated with this guy. I mean, I would be fascinated too. I'm like, well, how did this black guy get such a prominent platform and such a huge voice and audience, not knowing what the hell he's talking about, right? Maybe this is an individual we need to sit down and talk to dig deeper to see if there's actually, you know, any real depth to his thoughts. And lo and behold, this guy is nothing more than a walking MSNBC and CNN talking point, right? That's what he is, okay? Because that's the only thing that is coming out of his mouth in his interview is just talking points. He can't even understand why people think that a Kamala Harris presidency would be a bad presidency, because he doesn't really even understand her political ideology, just like he doesn't understand his own political ideology. He doesn't understand any of this stuff, but yet he continues to be given these types of platforms to spew nonsense. So, hey, at the very least, he's admitting that he does have Trump derangement syndrome, which I guess is a step in the right direction. Acknowledge that you have an issue. Now, the next step is to actually seek treatment, to lay on somebody's couch, to discuss and talk about your Trump derangement so that maybe, just maybe, you can fix that issue, right? And it'll allow you to think clearly about some of these issues and the problems facing this country. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.